need a medic bag.
Actually, mate, it's a doctor bag.
Holy shit.
Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video in my Payday 2 ranking series where I take certain aspects of Payday 2 and rank them from worst to best. In this video, I'll be looking at deployables. The previous videos in this series include worst to best heists, skills, perks, shotguns, LMGs, SMGs, assault rifles, snipers, music, money, loot, and many, many more. If you like these kind of videos, please make sure you subscribe and check out the playlist in the description or at the end of this video to watch all the previous and future videos like this one. So deployables, a word that Microsoft Word tells me is actually not a word, and also not a huge category to rank, you might think. Well, you're right, only 8 plus 1, the plus 1 being a variation of one already in the list, and that being the Sentry Gun. One thing to note about deployables before we begin is that they are of course completely situational, and that makes it very difficult to rank. That being said, however, this video can also serve as an informational video on the technical aspects of these basic items in Payday 2, as some of you may or may not know some of the details or nuances of each one individually. With that super detailed and over the top intro out of the way, how's about we get straight into it? Number 8, the armor bag. Go to your FBI files right now and see how many times you've equipped this one. I'll wait. I was actually surprised that I had 50 of them. I guess most of these were from the early days of playing when I thought that it gave you extra armor, not just the armor you're supposed to have. Also, I think I equipped it 3 or 4 times in the making of this video just to check a couple of things. Anyways, how does this actually work? Well, whichever armor you choose in the inventory menu, that is what gets stored in your armor bag. Oh, and by the way, it's not a bag, it's a case. When you begin a heist, you are now wearing a suit with your armor tucked away. Use the armor bag and you will don your armor choice. Pro players choose the suit in the menu and then put the suit on in the game, as it doubles your dodge stat. The ability to use the armor bag is unlocked via the perk deck card Walk-in Closet, not skills. There aren't many instances where the deployable is very useful unless you play low difficulties and have a pseudo stealth / armor build ready to go. Either way, Mr. Armor Bag, you are crap. Number 7, body bags. Yes, I know, good for stealth of course. Most stealth heists, if not all, have a body bag asset option, so technically you don't always need these as a deployable, and you could use that slot or slots for ECMS and or trip mines instead. The basics of body bag cases are this: bring 1 case as standard and get 3 in there to use, plus the 1 or 2 you may start with. Spend the 4 points on acing the cleaner skill and you can now deploy 2 cases. This gives you 8 bags in total to work with, and good luck if you need all of them. Very few heists would require that many unless shit is seriously popping off. So to sum up, yes, body bags are fine, but if you're a loud player, they're pretty bad. If a stealth player sometimes needed, sometimes not. Number 6 are Sentry Guns, and these are an interesting one. Like a finely cured and treated garden, these clunky little ammo shooting flowers need to be tended to and constantly monitored. The theory of these are pretty awesome, and again, if maintained and planned well, can be a good asset. First, you want to get some skills, as taking just 1 into a heist with no buffs is just very, very silly. As a base, they have 400 health, do 30 damage, and have 100 rounds of ammo. Sentry Guns almost have an entire skill tree dedicated to them, where maxing them out will cost you a whopping 37 skill points, almost 1/3 of your total point allocation. For spending all of this, however, you do get some goodies. Reduced ammo cost of deploying, I'll get to this in a moment, extra accuracy, rotation, health, and ammunition. Skills also unlock a quieter, less targeted version along with the armor piercing round as a toggle, once deployed or in the menu. These take care of shields and increase damage by 2.5 times, in lieu of reducing the fire rate by 75%. Without AP rounds, shields will toy with your sentries and waste all of their ammo. A couple of facts around sentries in Payday 2. One is that if they start to get beat up by enemy fire, you can just pick them up, which repairs them. However, let them get destroyed and they're gone forever. 2. Ammo is the other factor when considering sentries. Initially, without skills to deploy a sentry, it will take 30% of your primary and secondary ammo pool. If you don't have that amount available, you will not be able to deploy. As you gain skills for sentries, this reduces that to a minimum of 20%. Picking up your sentries will give you back the ammo or what's left after the sentry spent some pea-shooting your enemies. There are tactics to use with certain weapons in order to maximize ammo for sentries, but it's all a little bit too much for me to be bothered with. Just for them to get smacked after you turn your back and have to spend the rest of the heist listening to them cackle and sizzle as a stark reminder that you fucked up and should have bought ammo bags. Number 5, trip mines, and by association, shape charges. These are a good mix of deployables. The second heaviest point investment for a deployable if you go all in on them. A massive 28 points should do the trick. Shape charges can be extremely useful on specific heists, in particular the transport heists, to get in the vans quickly at the cost of some deposit boxes, and also blowing up safes and doors along the way on other heists. All spec'd out, you can enter a heist with 14 trip mines and 6 shape charges, which is quite the inventory. Still seems odd you can't carry 2 keycards though. Trip mines have a great utility for stealth, being deployed in sensor mode and emitting a blue laser. Enemies passing through this laser will make a beep and highlight the enemy, giving you 14 points on the map to detect guards and show their whereabouts. Use this in conjunction with a high value target ace skill and the enemies will stay marked for twice as long, making this feature way more useful. In a loud scenario, you have a few options. You can place them in explosive mode and they will detonate as the laser is passed, or deploy and put in sensor mode, wait for a crowd of enemies to gather and shoot the mine to explode when you want it to. Be careful, stray gunfire can also set these off prematurely. Placing trip mines on the ceiling or facing downwards in doorways can inflict headshot damage also, which is a very cool trick. For the damage itself, they deliver 1000 as a base and have a 3 meter radius. Skills will increase the damage radius by 30% and the damage delivered by 50%. Go heavy with skill points and grab Fire Trap Ace and you will spread a huge fire around the detonation site of 6 meters and it will last for 20 seconds. This will bring into play the fire and damage over time mechanics in Payday 2, delivering continuous damage for the duration of the fire to anyone who wanders in it. Not a bad deployable by any means and good for objectives and holding down areas, however the skill point investment for me is still a little steep. Number 4 is ECMS, again a multi-purpose deployable for both stealth and loud, and even a good one for when you try to stealth, fuck up and need to get the hell out of there. Fully spec, these will jam pages and cameras for 30 seconds and have a feedback option for loud players for the same duration. The feedback has a radius of 25 meters and will stun all but cloakers, so beware, as you dance between staggered enemies, you may just get your ass drop kicked by a cocky bastard whose rules you set do not apply to. Of course, ECMs can be used to open doors and ATMs too, and later on in the game cycle began to stop certain heist objectives to prevent the old-time ECM rushes. A couple of these examples being the car shop and the hack, Mercury Station and the train cars, along with the yacht heist and the final override switches. I think a great update for ECMs would be able to pick them up and reuse the feedback option, but that may stray too close to the Hacker Pocket ECM. There's already a 4-minute cooldown on the feedback portion of the ECM, so having the ability to pick up and redeploy would only get used a couple of times per heist, and the radius is so small it could be viable. The final use for the ECM is the turret takeover feature. If a turret shows up on the heist, throw down an ECM, and as it's in its jamming phase, the turret will now be on your side, firing at enemies for 30 seconds. Remember, this is a part of the jamming phase which only has one use, not the feedback phase. For you ECM rushers, deploy time is 2 seconds, like most of the deployables, and 1 second should you take Jack of all trades skill. Top 3 now, and at number 3 is the Doctor Bag. The bag that is not a bag, but was a bag, in Payday the Heist of course. A very simple concept which is often lost on new players as the mechanics of the game are not that obvious from the outset. Doctor Bags serve 2 purposes. 1, refilling your health fully to your max, whether it's 100% or 30% if you have the frenzy skill. And 2, resetting your downs. You're allowed a certain amount of downs before your screen goes black and white, and when it does, 1 more down will send you to jail where you will wait to be traded back. Using a Doctor Bag when you're seeing black and white is the optimal time to use. You will refresh your down counter and be back to fighting another day without the fear of meeting Leroy in cell block A for some serious cuddle time. Basic Doc Bags come with 2 uses and you can only equip 1. Spend some points on them and you can take 2 into battle and get double the use out of each one, meaning a total of 8 uses. The Doc Bags visibly change in appearance as you use them by showing a reduction of packets inside the case. Need Doc Bags in a pinch? Well, they take 2 seconds as standard to deploy and 2.8 seconds to use, meaning almost 5 seconds in total. Take Quick Fix to half the deploy time to 1 second, and if you add in Jack of all trades basic, you can deploy in half a second and use in 1.4, reducing the gross interaction time by almost 60%. Number 2, ammo bags. These give you ammo. Next. Just kidding. Let's talk ammo for a second or two. The basic no skill version will allow you to take 1 bag with you and it will have 4 full charges of ammo. Well, what does that mean? Let's look at it this way. You have 2 weapons, a primary and a secondary. If you deplete all of your ammo out of your primary and nothing out of your secondary, using an ammo bag will use 1 charge, or as depicted here, 100% out of the 400% available. If you deplete your primary and your secondary completely, this would use 2 charges, or as shown 200% out of the 400% available. This scales linearly from 0 to 100%, having 50% in your primary and 50% ammo in your secondary. This would still take 1 full charge from the ammo bag as it's a total of 100% together. Everything in between scales, pretty basic. Fully speccing out ammo bags means the amount of uses per bag is increased by 50%, so now 6 instead of 4. And then the ability to take 2 instead of 1. The other thing to note here is that it's not based on the amount of ammo needed, but a percentage of what is needed to fill you up. This could mean I get 400 bullets for an LMG with 1 full charge, and you can get 6 grenades for a launcher that would also be a full charge. Deploy time is standard at 2 seconds without Jack of all trades. The other notable skill associated with ammo bags is Bullet Storm. Use the ammo bag when low on ammo and get up to 20 seconds of constant spraying of ammo without depleting your stockpile. The amount of seconds gained are scalable to the amount of ammo you have when you replenish, meaning the more ammo you do replenish, the longer the effect. This can literally be a blast to play, especially if the map is swarming with enemies at the time you go full Rambo. Number 1, well, you guessed it, first aid kits, and as an acronym, a FAK. These offer a more basic health replenishment version than the doc bag, in that's all that they do. They will take you from whatever health you have to your maximum health. You can get up to 14 of these to take with you when fully skilled out, and used tactically can be very, very strong. The skill Uppers Ace allows you to auto-use these if they are placed on the ground within 5 meters of you and you lose all your health. Meaning you can place one down, go wild or do an objective, knowing that if you get trashed, you'll lose your armor, then your health, soak up a first aid kit, back to max health, and then be able to lose health one more time before going down. Extremely powerful with certain perk decks and great with almost any. There's a 20-second cooldown on the auto use, and this skill also applies to your teammates, meaning they will also eat up your first aid kits if they are on the ground when they reach 0 health, so watch out Berserker players. All players have separate timers for this feature, so theirs will not reset yours. A fun feature of first aid kits is the ability to jump off high areas and use the auto use feature to stop a fall death. Not useful in many aspects, but still pretty cool nonetheless. The deploy time for these urgent meds is also very fast. As standard they take 1 second. With the quick fix skill they take half a second, and combine that with Jack of all trades and they take only 1/4 of a second, which is lightning fast. Well, there we have it, the shortest list in the series to date and a fun one to dig into. Let me know in the comments what your favourite deployable is, and I will see you in the next one.